Hey, what is going on YouTube? Hey, Aaron here. We are back with our Friday feature. The Minnesota damage, current damage and XP record, both in one game from none other than Mr. Black Cat himself, aka Dr. Devstrike. He's a good mate. Go ahead and check out his channel. I will throw that in the description down below. Sorry for not streaming last night, guys. You can probably hear it in my nasally sounding voice. My allergies are absolutely killing me. So if you're new to the channel, I don't sound like this all the time. But guys, we have the Minnesota here, the newest Tier 8 American Dreadnought battleship line, or the slow class, not the fast battleships, I guess. And this is just a perfect game all around, showcasing how strong this ship can be on top of that camo. Let me just look at it. And good battleship play. I've known Dr. Devstrike Black Cat here for a couple months now, and he's a good guy, so he streams often, puts on some good entertaining streams, so check him out. But anyway, he's getting into position here, and I probably would do the same thing that he does, or he did in this game, and not go around A. The Minnesota is not that fast, as you can see. He's he's now below 20 knots here, and that first shot was not indicative of how the rest of this game is going to go. But honestly, part of the strength of these, the Kansas and the Minnesota, is their sheer number of guns. It has 12. 406 millimeter. Now I think it says 50 caliber, and one of my history buffs or history nerds or one of the neckbeards in my comments is going to tell me exactly what these guns are. I'm pretty sure they're 45 caliber, which means you have to lead them a bit more as opposed to the Iowa's 50 caliber, and that is in regard to the barrel length. But regardless of that, Mr. Black Hat here is developing a beautiful crossfire position. This map is all about your crossfires. If you can get around into A, you have beautiful crossfires. Also, if you can get up into those island positions that the Brandenburg is in or the other battleships were in. You notice that Iowa came out a little aggressive early. He was broadside. Unfortunately, he didn't pay for it, but Dr. Devstrike here is continuing to keep his guns cycling and moving his battleship. But he's not putting his ship in a position where it can get farmed. I think he's gotten shot once, and he's missing 6,000 health there. With the heal can get a little bit of that back. So, positioning yourself and making sure you can shoot at all times is a huge win in your battleship. Now, you can see the enemies kind of clumped up there, and there are 3 destroyers in this game. I actually don't quite see them on the mini-map here, but spotting is going to be huge on this map, so if you are a destroyer player, make sure you are spotting. I'm sorry, all 3 of them are in B there. They're literally staring me right in the face. I'm drugged up here on NyQuil and a bunch of different stuff. So they have absolutely no spotting except for that one DD in the middle. And Dr. Devstrike, Black Hat here, is playing it very smart and not pushing forward recklessly. He doesn't know if torpedoes are around that corner, etc. But he's lining up his next shot, looking at the board, seeing what his team needs. But because all 3 destroyers were in the middle there, that Kagero, who was spotted by all 3 of them, get yeeted pretty quickly. I wouldn't recommend putting 3 destroyers in one cap, and there are those torpedoes that he was waiting for. He gets a beautiful shot. I'm not sure why this Iowa is sitting broadside. And a beautiful just yeet of an Iowa there. He activates his epic mod there, so he gets increased dispersion for the rest of the game. And the Kansas is a beautiful ship to do that on. But that is a Devstrike on a near full health Iowa, 74. Well, maybe not near full health, but a good chunk of his health there. For the first Devstrike and his first kill. I will say that this game is not like 270,000 is the number, and a lot of you are like, wow, it's not even 300K. Guys, this is still a very, very impressive game. I want to keep that, we've been putting out these massive games for the Friday features. Big J's last week was 340K. Guys, that is not going to happen every week. That, my daring damage record, my own damage record, has still held. I put it up as a joke, 290,000. I put it up on the Discord as a joke, but it is yet to be beaten. To my knowledge, I think somebody said they saw 300 on Facebook, but nobody has posted it to the Discord yet. So sometimes certain ships will be, a little bit harder to get these records, but a great game nonetheless. And that is what, I wanted to bring that up because we're going to be featuring just other great games. We're going to run out of 9-kill, 350,000 damage games. But Dr. Devstrike is taking a beautiful middle position here. And middle positions in American battleships are actually pretty favorable, especially in a ship like the Minnesota. You can't Citadel the Minnesota that easily, so unless he's flat broadside at a medium range, or a long range with a ship with a lot of pen, he's not going to be losing that much health. Now that Baltimore is a bit of a problem, and he does have that Vanguard back there, as well as a few battleships on the back line, and still two destroyers that are unaccounted for. Now he is undetected here, so we know that when he shoots, especially when he shoots, there are no destroyers in the middle here. Another beautiful salvo. Just the pure number of guns makes the Minnesota and the Kansas very dangerous battleships, especially in the hands of great players. But his team is actually doing a decent job of losing the right side. I can't really blame those battleships for not wanting to push that right side, but guys, you need to spread out, and his team is not doing that. Dr. Deathstrike is, though, as one of their battleships goes down. So if you actually look at the board, their team is losing, despite Dr. Deathstrike doing a fantastic job of dishing out the ultimate alpha strike while also, drawing a little bit of attention his way. So he aims a pretty well-placed shot at the superstructure of the Vanguard there, and good night, thanks for playing Vanguard. So by simply having a little bit of patience and a little bit of position, Dr. Deathstrike has 132,000 damage, 2 kills, and barely taken any, damage to his ship. Now, this next play is a little bit. This is, if I did have one, critique, it would be right here. He's putting a very slow battleship, a very wide battleship, in a narrow space. But the reason being, he has a broadside Republique, a broadside, I think there's a Brandenburg over there, so a few other ships. A beautiful salvo, and this guy has shot, 54 shell hits for the high caliber in half the game. So, and a good, portion of that game, he was simply driving forward in his 20-knot battleship. So, like I said, this is a tough position, but he plays this very well. And this is the game that we kind of, as American battleship mains, I know a lot of you guys are, Spartan fans, etc. This is kind of the game that you all dream of. Now, I will say a few of these, like this Musashi here, a few of them were paid actors. A well-placed shot, 2 citadels, an increase to his accuracy, and the Musashi only gets, 2 pens and an overpen there. But like we mentioned, he put himself in this channel, and here is the result of that. He's got torpedoes on the way. Luckily, he didn't take one, and he is being crossfired now and lit up by those secondaries of that battleship, I believe. So he got set on a double fire and lost a turret, so he went ahead and used his repair. I would have popped my heal here, especially with 3 heals. I like to start cycling my heals early. I also would have selected the Musashi as a secondary target, but that's just an OCD thing I do, especially playing the Prince Ruprecht a lot recently. But another beautiful, that is just a perfect shot. Perfect. He only had 3 turrets as well, so a beautifully aimed shot, a perfect execution of just aiming at that front cheek of the Musashi. And the Musashi and the Yamato's armor is unique in that regard. They do have a front facing citadel plate right there, so don't expect to be getting citadels on other battleships when aimed like that. But you could see his team is actually doing their best to try and throw as this Brandenburg comes around the corner. Now he needs to go forward here, which he does. There could be torpedoes on the way from that Brandenburg. But that is kill number 4, 2 death strikes, high caliber, and 257,000 damage. Now his team was, half decent in eliminating a few of these ships. As you notice, there's only 2 destroyers and 1 cruiser left. So, not that much damage to go around. But there is the Chungmu, and those deep water torpedoes will hurt. So, but we also saw torpedoes from the right, and there is the Lightning. Now he does know that the Lightning is torpedo down, as we just saw, or at least 1 rack of torpedoes down as the 1 rack from the Chungmu comes through the channel there. Now this is again that tough spot that I mentioned he was putting himself in, as he gets nearly another dev strike, and there's the Confederate medal. But he took more torpedoes. I think that was the Chungmu. I believe the Chungmu can get a reload booster as well. But he almost nearly dev struck that Lightning with just overpens. And that is the strength of AP. Now, I definitely recommend shooting HE at broadside, especially the hull of enemy destroyers as the final. There was the torpedo reload booster we were just talking about, as the final torpedo takes him down. But an excellent game nonetheless. I'm not going to announce too much more of this game. His team pulls it off. He gets a beautiful XP score. And like I said, this is not like, an 8,000 XP, 500,000 damage game, but this is a very, very good game, which shows good position, good shots, and a little bit of good RNG with a few paid actors as as enemy teammates. But a good game nonetheless, a great display of marksmanship and how to be a good battleship player, which Dr. Devstrike is. I've watched him a few times on stream. He's a good mate. He did stream snap the other night, so tisk tisk, but no, I'm just kidding. But not really. But yeah, we'll go and take it to the scoreboard here. So there we have it, chat, the end of the battle here. A beautifully executed game, like we mentioned. 270,000 damage, a nice total, and nearly 3,400 base XP there. Just missing out on that last Dev Strike and the Kraken. That would have been so sweet if he would have got it. But a great game. Black Hat, thank you for letting me have that. Make sure you guys check out his channel. Hope everyone has a great day. I'll probably stream tonight, depending on how bad I sound. But love you guys. Everyone have a great weekend. Aaron out. Peace.